Secretariat here. Do we have a quorum for this morning?
Sir, we're just waiting for the end user to come in. He's having difficulty right now to join the meeting room, but he is trying to connect now, sir.
So wala
Nasa
tayong
area.
quorum until he connects, tama ba?
Yes, sir. We only have Ma'am Diane, Ma'am Joyce, at saka kayo po. Waiting for one more, sir, for us to have a
Sige.
quorum.
Okay.
Pero connecting na
Please
sila, sir.
advise.
Connecting na po.
For records purposes, can we do a roll call, please?
Good morning, sir. This is Mel po. Today, we'll be pitching in for Attorney Irish with the moment the Secretariat for BAC Bravos County. So, please be informed that this BAC Charlie meeting is being streamed online via our CAAP YouTube account. For the attendance, please acknowledge once your name is called. Our presiding officer, Attorney Roberto Martin S. Benaventura,
Present po.
Colonel Valentino A. Junela,
Present online, ma'am.
Miss Jocelyn L. Ching,
Present po.
Miss Amneres G. Gabriel, I think she is on travel. Miss Diana Ines C. Briñas,
Present online.
for the end user from the ADMS, Engineer Emerson Salas.
Joining in a
Okay.
while.
Okay. For our TWG, headed by Attorney Frank Edward G. Marty,
Present online.
Attorney Edelisa M. Erugin,
Present, ma'am.
Engineer Hubert Damatak,
Present online. Present.
Engineer Michael Macabenta, Engineer Lolita S. Hubay,
Present online.
Engineer Joffran Joseph Y. Torrefranca,
Present po. Good morning.
Miss Maria Cristina C. Balonon.
Present online po.
Okay, for the back secretariat, we have Attorney Bo Masiglat, Mr. Sunny Villabort,
Present. Good morning.
our minutes taker for today's meeting, Miss G.K. Garcia Anescol.
Present, ma'am.
Also present are the other members of the back secretariat. And sir, we also have observers from COA, IAS, DOTR, and the Procurement Division. We also sent our invitations to PCCI and ASFI. That's all po, Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you for that, Secretariat. Given that we have a quorum, let's proceed with the primary items of the agenda. The first one being the presentation for the bid evaluation for the project construction of the new PTB Phase 1 at Ozamis Airport. An ADMS DOTR downloaded project amounting to 222,023,935 pesos and 37 cents. Who will be presenting this? Attorney Frank?
Attorney Edelisa Erugin, sir, will present on behalf of the
Alright.
technical.
Go ahead, Attorney Ice.
I would just like to ask the members if you can already see my screen.
Yes, Attorney Ice, we can see your screen. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Attorney Frank. All right, so I will be presenting the bid evaluation report for the construction of the new passenger terminal building, Phase 1, at Ozamis Airport. For the approved budget of the contract, we have it is 222,023,953 and 37 cents. It is under bid number 21-019-09, which is actually a rebid under BAC Charlie. We had the opening of bids last November 26 at the CAAP conference room. So for the background, there were two bidders who signified their intention to participate in the bidding of the above-mentioned project. We have St. Timothy Construction, Abi Builders Enterprise, which is a joint venture, and Ware Corporation International. All two prospective bidders tendered their bid proposals within the prescribed period. However, Ware Corporation International withdrew their bid proposal before the opening of the bids. The bid proposal was then opened and checked in the presence of the bidders' representatives. During the opening of bids, a preliminary examination of the submitted bid proposal was conducted using a non-discretionary pass or fail criterion. The proposal of the joint venture was rated as passed for having submitted required documents specified in the checklist. Thus, the TWG recommended for the conduct of the bid evaluation of St. Timothy, which was rated as passed, and this was duly approved by the BAC Charlie. For the findings, the submitted bid proposal of St. Timothy And AB Builders Enterprise joint venture is 221,823,613 and 11 cents. However, for the calculated bid proposal, it cannot be determined. For the remarks, it is incomplete bid and it is for disqualification as well. The bid proposal of St. Timothy Construction joint venture was found incomplete for offering a deficient list of materials, labor, and equipment in the required items in the detailed estimates that were provided in the PBD. We have Annex A for the detailed estimate form. Further recommendations in view of the above findings, the BAC TWG hereby recommends the following. First, that the bid proposal of the St. Timothy Construction Nabi Builders Enterprise joint venture be disqualified for offering an incomplete bid. And second, that the BAC Charlie to declare a failure of bidding considering that no bidders passed the bid evaluation. So that will be all for the bid evaluation, Mr. Chair.
Attorney Ice, if I may suggest, Attorney Ice, can we show yung Annex A for the appreciation of the members of the,
Sure, Attorney Frank.
sorry, thank you.
So this is the Annex A. My apologies, I was not able to share with the body. Can you see it?
No, Attorney,
Sorry. I'm sharing now.
yes, we can now see your screen.
Okay. Here. Page 55 of 79. Okay. Okay. Thank you po. I'll stop
Thank
sharing
you.
now po.
No, please go back to the recommendation portion. Let's focus on the recommendation page.
There you go po.
So we have here recommendation of TWG for the construction of a new PTB phase 1 of Ozamis Airport is number 1 for the disqualification of St. Timothy Construction Abbey Builders Enterprise joint venture for offering an incomplete bid, and number 2 for the declaration of failure of bidding considering that no bidders have passed the bid evaluation. At this juncture, let's open the floor for comments or queries from our members, and should there be none, let's have a motion, please. In any case, wala tayong choice, no? Kasi wala ng bidders. Yes, Ma'am Dayan, go ahead.
Like a motion.
Yes, po.
I move for the adoption of the TWG recommendation. Number 1 for the bid proposal of St. Timothy Construction Builders Enterprise to be qualified for offering an incomplete bid, and 2 to declare it.
Medyo choppy lang, but I reckon it's as you mentioned, it's to adopt the recommendation as presented. So do you have a second?
Second the motion, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. There being a motion duly seconded, the recommendation of TWG is hereby adopted. First, for the disqualification of St. Timothy Construction, Navi Builders Enterprise joint venture for having submitted incomplete bid, and second, considering that there's no bidders to be evaluated further, that this bid be declared a failure of bidding. This is the first time of failure, Attorney Frank?
No, Mr. Chair, this is already a rebid, sir.
This is a rebid.
Yes, sir.
So what is the option here?
Sir, we can actually do the negotiation, sir, under two failed bids, or we can still go with the public bidding, sir. But for for expediency purposes, sir, the TWG would like to recommend for the negotiation.
Okay. Do you have the end user here already? No.
Yes, sir, Architect Emerson Salas, here, sir.
So Emmer, are we okay? Are we okay with that recommendation? As the end user, we'll proceed with the GPPB process of negotiation after the two field biddings. Because I understand this project is also under one of the urgent projects that we need to finish. Okay po
Okay lang
sa
po,
inyo,
sir.
sir?
Yeah,
Alright,
sir,
sige.
okay lang po.
Alright, that manifestation is noted. So let's have this already processed for negotiations.
Yes, sir, we'll be
Thank
sending
you.
invitation letters, sir, to the previous bidders from the first bidding and the second bidding, sir.
Alright, sige. Alright, let's do that. Moving on to the next item on the agenda, we have the presentation of the post-qualification report for Basco Airport Development Project, widening of stopway, expansion of apron runway, taxiway asphalt overlay, including strip width correction, which is also a rebid, an ADMS DOT allowed project amounting to 142,382,247 pesos and 72 cents. Who will be presenting this?
Mr. Chair, I will be presenting the actual technical working group.
Go ahead, Attorney Frank.
Ms. Mel, Secretariat, can you confirm if you can now see my screen?
Yes, attorney.
Okay, thank you. So again, good morning to our back members and to everyone. I will be presenting the outcome of the post-qualification evaluation conducted by the Technical Working Group for the Basco Airport Development Project. This is for calendar year 2019 with the scope widening of subway, expansion of apron, runway and taxiway asphalt overlay, including strip correction rebid. So the ABC of the project is 142,382,247 pesos and 72 centavos, and we opened the bids last November 17, wherein the bidder under the post-qualification evaluation is Ware Corporation International, having submitted a calculated bid of 138,632,025 pesos and 75 centavos. So here are the findings of the technical working group. For the eligibility documents, field job certificate of registration, the submission is responsive. They submitted a certificate of field job registration which is valid until June 2022. For the registration certificate from SEC, DTI, or CDA, SEC certificate with registration number 130621, and it is dated October 9, 2006. So it is responsive. For the business or mayor's permit, the mayor's permit submitted is from LGU, Muntinlupa City, and it is valid until 31 December 2021, so it is responsive. For the tax clearance, they submitted a tax clearance which is valid until 18 January 2022, so it is responsive. For the PCAB license, the project requires a medium A license category B for road, highway, pavement, railways, airport, horizontal structures, and bridges, where corporation submitted a license under large B, triple category A, which is above the minimum requirement for the project, so it is responsive. And it is also valid until June 30, 2022. Statement of all ongoing government and private contracts. They submitted 3 ongoing government infrastructure projects with no slippages, more than -10 and -15. So it is responsive. For the statement of bidder's single largest completed contract, the submitted project is the concreting of Mababadil Kabigaan Road, Aborlan, Palawan. This is a DPWH project with the nature of work which is roads, and it is in Puerto Princesa, Palawan, with a contract amount of 105,281,882 pesos and 25 centavos, which is more than the ABC of the project. So this is responsive. It is the project is similar to the project to be bid, and the contract price is more than the 50% of the ABC of the project. So it is responsive. For the audited financial statement, the submission is responsive. They submitted an audited financial statement for fiscal year 2019-2020, and it is received by BIR June 3, 2021. For the NFCC computation, the submitted NFCC in the amount of 5,359,168,715 pesos and 54 centavos, and it is more than the ABC of the project, so it is responsive. The JV is not applicable in this case, considering that it's a 100% venture of Ware Corporation. For the technical documents, bid security, they submitted a duly notarized bid securing declaration, and it is responsive. For the organizational chart, the submission is also responsive, as all the technical personnel required in the invitation to bid are met. Instructors personnel, it is also responsive. They met the minimum required personnel as per invitation to bid. For the list equipment units, it is also responsive. They met the minimum required equipment as per invitation to bid. The TWG conducted the site inspection and validation of the equipment. We went to Silang and Pampanga to verify the list of equipment as submitted. So we find the submission responsive. For the omnibus sworn statement, they submitted a duly notarized and signed omnibus sworn statement, so it is responsive. For the certificate of site inspection, the site inspection was issued by Ms. Louie Asantor, the OIC of Basco Airport, issued to Mr. Emmanuel Garcia last November 10, 2021, so it is responsive. Photocopy of company ID of the person who conducted the site inspection. They also attached the ID, company ID of the project engineer Emmanuel Garcia, Mr. Emmanuel Garcia, so it is responsive. For the airport visitors logbook, attached the CAAP Basco logbook with the entry name of the site inspection conducted by Mr. Garcia, so it is responsive. Bid bulletin is not applicable in this case. For financial documents, the financial bid of Ware Corporation, the submitted bid is 138,680,309 pesos and 28 centavos. After bid evaluation, the calculated bid is 138,632,025 centavos and 76 centavos. A difference of 3,750,221 pesos and 76 centavos from the ABC of the project. So this is responsive. It is within the ABC of the project. Bill of quantities, the submission is in accordance with the bidding form, so it is responsive. Bid proposal, it is also in accordance with the bidding forms, so it is also responsive. The detailed estimates, the provided items are also in accordance with Section 9 bidding forms, so it is responsive. Summary sheet for materials, labor, and equipment rates. The submission is also responsive. It is in accordance with the bidding forms. Cash flow by quarter and payment schedule. The submission is also responsive. They complied with our forms for this project. For the submission of post-qualification documents, they submitted it within the period, which is 5 calendar days after the receipt of the letter, and the following were provided. Number 1 is the latest income tax or business tax returns. They submitted the latest business tax for the period September 30, 2021 So it is responsive. For the business licenses, they submitted they resubmitted the SEC registration, mayor's permit, tax clearance, and pickup license as required in the post qualification letter. So it is all responsive. For the latest audited financial statement, they also resubmitted the audited financial statement for 2019-2020, and this is responsive. For the key personnel licenses, they submitted and we verified the licenses of the personnel to be assigned to the project, and they are all current and valid as of the post qualification date. So it is all responsive. So with that, the bid proposal of Ware Corporation International was evaluated to have offered the lowest calculated responsive bid for having complied with all the legal, technical, and the financial requirements. However, the submitted financial bid of Ware Corporation International is higher than the calculated bid. So as per section 34.4 of the IRR of 9184, if the BAC determines that the bidder with the lowest calculated bid passes all the criteria for post-qualification, he shall declare the said bid as the lowest calculated responsive bid and recommend to the head of the procuring entity to award the contract to said bidder based on the submitted bid price or calculated bid price, whichever is lower. And in this case, the calculated bid price is lower than the submitted bid price. Having said that, the technical working group is now recommending to award the contract for the Basco Airport Development Project calendar year 2019, widening of stopway, expansion of apron, runway, and taxiway asphalt overlay, including strip width correction, to Ware Corporation International, being the lowest calculated responsive bid in the amount of 138,632,025 pesos and 76 centavos for consideration and approval of the Bids and Awards Committee, Charlie. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Attorney Frank. Just for a brief, just to backtrack a bit. Sino ulit yung bidders dito?
Wait, sir. We have. Let me check, sir. Therefore, for Basco, sir, Ware Corporation, Mindanao Rock, and St. Timothy Construction, sir.
Okay. Parehas doon sa kanina. In
Yes.
any case, sige. Okay. Sige, so we have here the recommendation of the TWG, which is for the award of the Basco Airport Development Project CY 2019 to Ware Construction, tama? For having been
Corporation.
having passed the post qualification process and having been determined as a single responsive calculated bid for this project. Do we have any comments or queries from our members? If there's none, maybe we can have a motion, please. Just to clarify, Frank, this is 142 million project. This is going to be presented to the board?
Yes, sir. We will be presenting this
Okay.
project to the board should BAC approves their recommendation, sir.
Okay, so we have a board meeting scheduled on the 17th of December. We'll include this if ever. Again, do you have any comments or queries? If there's none, let's have a motion, please. Thank you.
To the chair.
Yes, Ma'am Joyce.
I move, as recommended by the TWG, I move for the recommendation to award the contract for the Basco Airport Development Project CY 2019 widening of stopway, expansion of apron runway, and taxiway asphalt overlay, including strip width correction, to Ware Corporation International, being past the post-qualification process, being the least calculated and responsive bid. That's all.
Thank you, Ma'am Joyce. Do you have a second?
Second.
Thank you, ma'am. There being a motion duly seconded, the recommendation of the TWG is hereby adopted and the project Basco Airport Development Project CA 2019 widening of stopway, expansion of apron runway and taxiway asphalt overlay including stripping correction is hereby awarded to Ware Corporation International for having submitted the lowest calculated and responsive bid. Um, Again, this is only recommendatory. This will be presented to the board of directors for approval of the head of procuring entity as required under the GPPB. Okay, we'll coordinate this lang Attorney Frank with the corporate secretary's office.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Okay, proceeding to the last item for today's agenda. We have the motion for reconsideration filed by Mark Build Construction Trading and Development Corporation, China Construction, First Group Corporation Limited, Dyson Construction and Trading Corp. Consortium for the project Bukidnon Airport Development Project Phase 3, Passenger Terminal Building Runway Strip Runway Extension, 2-unit pipe conduit box culvert and runway markings amounting to 1,30,490,650 pesos and 11 centavos. An ADMS DOTR downloaded project. Okay, as I understand, this project was already presented to the Board of Directors last 25 November, last Thursday. And it was already awarded. However, pursuant to the GPPB rules, considering there was a motion for reconsideration filed, we are obligated to deliberate on this as well and pass upon it, and this be presented to the board of directors again for their consideration. Just for process, Attorney Frank, was this motion for reconsideration filed within the time frame as allowed by the GPPB?
Yes, Mr. Chair. I am showing the document in your screens right now, and the BAC Secretariat received the motion for reconsideration last November 19, 2021 at 3:50 p.m., Mr. Chair, and this is within the prescribed period. They received the letter last November 16, 20.
Okay, so as provided under the GPPB, if there's an MR that is yet to be resolved, the award, tama ba? The award is held in abeyance until all the MR and or protests are resolved.
That's correct, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so this is with all due respect to the decision board, the award will be held in abeyance until this is resolved. Okay, let's just present this, Attorney Frank. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair. So again, we received the BAC Secretariat received last November 19, 2021 the MR of Mark Built, and the MR, the gist of the MR, if the BAC would allow me, I will read the document. So I will just go straight, sir, to I mean, before I will go to the reasons or the ground for the MR, I will first discuss the reasons for the disqualification. So the consortium was actually disqualified for failure to disclose all ongoing government and private contracts in its statement of all government and private in its submission. The technical working group was able to obtain a certification or a document from the DPWH as of September 30, 2021 that they have 10 projects which were not 10 projects listed which are ongoing or classified as ongoing projects in the DPWH. So with that, we find the submission of the consortium non-compliance to the requirement of statement of all ongoing projects. However, in the MR of the consortium, they contend that the DPWH list provided statement has a bottom page that slippage indicated herein are not subject to verification from the implementing agency. Be it noted, Mr. Chair, that it is only the slippage but not the listing or the categorization whether it is ongoing or not or whether the project is ongoing, completed, or whatever category it is. So they provided here in their motion for reconsideration that out of the 10 projects, 8 projects are no longer ongoing projects, and the 2 projects were actually ongoing and were declared in their statement of all ongoing projects. So they enumerated here the 10 projects which we obtained from the DPWH. And they also assert that projects number 6, 7, and 10 of the DPWH list were already 100% accomplished and thus cannot be considered as ongoing. However, the DPWH listing or categorization consider these projects as still ongoing projects. Otherwise, the DPWH could have like removed these projects in their status report as of 30 December 2021. So they are also saying here that the DPW the non-inclusion of these projects would not in any way affect their net financial capacity and that they are um, still capable of performing, financially capable to perform or undertake the said project. But considering that they failed to disclose all the projects, these projects in their submission is more than sufficient to disqualify or to deny their MR because the requirement is here that they have to indicate all ongoing government and private contracts. With that, the technical working group prepared a letter here in reply to the MR denying the MR, and the gist of the MR is indicated in this paragraph. Upon the request of the BAC, the Department of Public Works and Highways issued the list of ongoing projects of Mark Bill Construction Training and Development Corporation as of September 30, 2021, which was the basis of the disqualification. In the DPWH status report, it is clearly indicated that there are a number of projects not listed in the submission of this consortium. The DPWH considers and categorizes these projects as ongoing projects for whatever reason the DPWH may have. Thus, these projects are likewise regarded as ongoing projects for these bidding purposes. So this is the recommendation of the technical working, Mr. Chair, to deny the MR of Mark Bill. Mark Bill Construction, China Construction, and Dyson Construction Consortium for consideration and approval of the committee, Mr. Chair.
Thank you for that presentation, Attorney Frank. If I am not mistaken, this is a similar ground raised by another post-disqualified bidder before.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
So, well, in how I appreciate it, we only really rely on what the DPWH provides us, and we do conduct our own due diligence on it. However, it is the issue on whether or not it's ongoing is really, and the decision to remove them is really upon the DPWH, not us. So we're only looking at the compliance or non-compliance in this case, which is the requirement to submit and disclose, and they did not do so. Similar to what we did with what happened with the previous post-disqualified bidder. So I'm in agreement with this. In any case, they also have the opportunity to protest this with the board of directors in accordance with the GPPB. So ako po wala po akong objections with the denial. Ang mahalaga lang po is we really comply with the process right now, which is we're deliberating upon this MR. Do you have any comments from the other members or questions? Kung wala po, maybe we can have a motion din po on this.
To the chair, I'd like to make a motion.
Yes po, Ma'am Dayan.
I'd like to move for the TWG recommendation to deny the motion for consideration of Markville construction.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there any second?
I second the motion, sir.
Thank you, Ma'am Joyce. There being a motion duly seconded, let this the recommendation request the secretariat to have this denial issued as soon as possible because as I understand, Attorney Fnac, medyo nagkaroon tayo ng overlap in scheduling because we received this in routing already when board of directors, when the board meeting was already fixed. Tama. That's why it was unfortunately presented to the board already, despite that this is still being scheduled for deliberation. Not, we have already spoken to the DG about such kinds of processes, and what will happen, we will inform the board of the denial, and we will subject it again for their approval, whether they will affirm the award or they will not, in accordance with the GPPB process. Okay? So schedule din Secretary, let's release the letter ASAP and let's already schedule this for board deliberations as the hope next board meeting, which is on the December as well.
Later.
Okay. Pakimonitor na lang din, Attorney Frank. Okay, is there anything else for today's agenda?
None from the TWG, Mr. Chair.
Secretariat, do we have?
None for the Secretariat po, sir.
No more items in the agenda. Let's already have the meeting adjourned. Maraming salamat po for everyone who attended. Even those watching online, thank you po. We'll keep you posted for the succeeding schedule for the succeeding back Charlie meetings. Thank you po, Ma'am Joyce, Sir
Thank
Esther
you, sir.
Emer, Ma'am Dayan, Sir Jonix, maraming salamat po.
Thank you.
Good morning po.
And my lunch.
Meron daw po, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.